Beachbody, and you looked at me and said, John, you understand success. Would you help me? What would you say to me that would help me to be successful in my life? I would ask you 2 questions. And these 2 questions will determine more the level of your success, not only in Beachbody, but in life, than any other 2 questions you'll ever ask yourself. The first question, if I could walk into your life, is I would ask you, what are you doing to develop yourself? In other words, what are you doing personally to get better? How are you growing you? What are you doing to grow yourself? In a moment, I'm going to begin to lay out the laws of growth for you. But I'm here to tell you that 99% of you here probably do not have a personal growth plan. A plan of which you commit yourself on a daily basis to grow yourself. Which would lead me to the second question, what are you doing to develop others? What are you doing to develop your team? What are you doing to develop your inner circle? What are you doing to develop the people around you? What kind of a team are you building? Because in developing others, you compound everything. You compound time, you compound energy, you compound money, you compound influence. Everything compounds the moment that you learn how to develop other people. All highly successful people understand that principle, and so therefore they realize that what they're learning they've got to pass on to others, and how they're growing they got to teach others how to grow, and they realize that you cannot take others where you haven't been yourself. And so what are you doing to grow yourself, and what are you doing to grow others? What are you doing to develop you? What are you doing to develop your team? Plan. Then he said the words that changed my life. He said growth is not an automatic process. You will not grow automatically. You will not get better automatically. It doesn't happen. You see, after we are born, the only thing that's automatic is that we die. That's automatic. You don't have to take a course on this. You don't have to go to a seminar. I mean, just hang long enough, you die, okay? It's automatic. Trust me on that. You don't have to work it. But especially in things that are important in your life, things that are going to be seeds of success in your life, they are all uphill. They're uphill all the way. You can tell you're on the road to success. It's always uphill. It's never even. It's never down. It's always uphill. There's always intentionality. There is always effort. And so I started talking to my friends, and I began to ask them, okay, I've got to have a plan for growth. And so I went to my friends for the next 6 months. If I asked this question once, I asked it 500 times. I look at you and I'd say, I'd go to my friends, do you have a personal growth plan? And I got 500 no's. And all of a sudden it hit me. We go through life thinking that we automatically will improve. That was life-changing to me. And if you see yourself as a person of worth, you'll bet on yourself. But if you don't see yourself as a person of worth, you won't bet on you. And what's sad is no one else will. Your self-image is the lid on your potential. And if you see yourself from a 1 to a 10 as a 4, you see yourself as below average. If this is my self-image right here, let me tell you something. My self-image will never allow. It'll never allow me to get beyond who I think I am, what I think I can become. My self-image literally is the lid on my potential. It doesn't matter whether I'm a Beachbody or any other organization. My self-image is my lid, and my lid will not move until I move my self-image. Now my name's John, and I'm your friend. And trust me, I know what it is to develop people. We've trained 6 million of them in 175 countries. I understand this game very well. I understand it very well. And what I want you to hear from me now is the fact that you are selling yourself short. That you have better potential than what you realize, and you have greater worth than what you understand. And if you can hear anything about my message today, my message is that you were created. God created you for a purpose, with a purpose to be successful. And I want you to understand, that whatever number you've got on your life, that number is where you're going to, if you got a 6 on your life, can I tell you something? You're going to do 5 work. You're not going to do 7 work. You're not going to do 8 work. If you've got a 6 self-image, listen to me very carefully. The most important thing you can do in your life to grow is to lift your own self-image lid. Let me tell you something else will increase your self-image. Every day, do the right thing, even though it's the hard thing. I've observed and I've watched people that have a good self-image. They don't cave. They don't follow peer pressure. They make their own decisions, and they make the right decisions. Even when it's the hard decisions, they don't back away from them. Wow. Your self-image will so greatly determine your growth. Law number 3. Before I give you law number 3, let me ask you a question. Are you learning something? Now listen to me very carefully. This is very important. People don't pay for average. People don't pay for, and I'm absolutely amazed at how many people love average. I mean, I just look at it and I say, why are you so in love with average? Average is average, and everyone is average. And you want to be everyone, and you just want to be average all your life. It's just average, and average is never going to be success. Nobody gets excited about average. You don't get excited about average. You don't say, man, I just love that TV show. It's so average. Oh dear God, we're in Vegas. I heard there was a concert down there that was just really average. You don't stand in line for average. You don't pay for average. You don't look at your friend after you both worked hard and say, hey, let's go out to dinner. Hey, let's find an average restaurant. And you don't go to the and then we remind you 30 minutes later we haven't had our food, and you say, oops, and then you bring your own food back, because we like that too. And by the way, when we're talking about the menu, what do you have that's average here? We don't want to know what your specialty is. I mean, do you have something nobody's ordered today? Now you don't go sit at an average table and have an average meal with an average waiter in an average restaurant and walk out of that place and you look at that friend and you say, I am but we must come back here. No. Listen to me, folks. People don't pay for average. And if you work on your weaknesses in the area of abilities, you'll only be average. Yeah. But let's say you're a 7. Maybe you're above average in something. And so now this is a strength of yours. And so you work on it, and you can go from a 7 to an 8. You could even maybe get to be a 9. Can I tell you something? When you get in that top 20%, when you get 9 and 10, people stand in line for 9s. They pay for 9s all day. And you see, if you work on your strengths, in the area of your abilities and your giftedness, you'll really grow and you'll do really well and be very successful. So when you get your growth plan together, when you say, okay, I want to start growing, you got to grow in the area of your strengths. You got to grow in the areas that you're good at. I'm good at communication, I'm good at leadership, and I'm good at creativity. Those are my 3 strengths. And I spend all my time growing in those areas. I don't spend time on other things and abilities and gifts I don't have. Why would I do that? I'm not going to be any good at it at all. I love to play golf, but I'm not like a 12 handicap. I'm not a real good golfer. But I love to play. But I'm never going to be a scratch golfer. I want to play golf with a guy and he hits a bad shot and he kind of gets mad. I look at him and say, excuse me, you're getting a little upset here. Do you do this for a living? No. I said, thank God. You're not any good. The problem is you're too close to the ball after you hit it. In areas of strength, such as abilities, you work on those. And you've got to know yourself to grow yourself. So you don't want to work on everything, because you can work on some things and never get any better. I told you a little bit earlier, I play golf, and I love to play golf, but I'm not really good at golf. And I love these people who say, well, practice more. Practice, I love the expression, practice makes perfect, practice makes perfect. What idiot said that? Can I tell you something? If you're not gifted in an area and you practice, it doesn't make you perfect. Practice makes permanent. In other words, If I practice my golf swing, it just means that my slice always goes, the ball goes in the same part of the woods every time.
Perfect.
Work on your strengths in the area of ability. Work on your weaknesses in the area of choices. You must know yourself to grow yourself. That's the law of awareness. Let me give you law number 4. Law number 4 is the most important law to me, maybe not to you, of all the 15 laws of growth. I have more to this law than the other law, so I want to make sure I taught this today. It's the law of consistency. And the law of consistency says that motivation gets you going, but discipline keeps you growing. That motivation is what you come here, you come to your conference here, your Beachbody conference, and you hear all these speakers and you see what they've done, and you say, boy, I want to be just like them, and I want to be successful, I want to help people, I want to do well. You get motivated. It has nothing to do with your success when you get home. You do understand that, don't you? That wears off in about 2 days. And you can say, wow, I was really going to work on this business, but it feels good today as I did yesterday. If you have a tree in your backyard that you want to cut down and you have an axe, if you pick up the axe and you go to that tree and you swing 5 times. Put the axe down. Next day, go out in the backyard, pick up the axe, go to the same tree. Put the axe down. The next day, you go out in your backyard, you pick up the axe, you go to the same tree. 5 times. If every day you pick up an axe, you go to the same tree, and you take that axe and you swing 5 times at that tree. Just 5. Not 15, not 50, not 500. 5 times. Let me ask you a question. What is eventually going to happen to that tree? That tree will... Absolutely. Case dismissed. We don't need to talk nor debate or question about the tree falling. It will fall. And what's interesting is, we only swung at that tree 5 times. But we every day went to that tree and we 5 times with that axe, we hit that tree. Now, if the tree is big, it may not fall for a couple of years. If the tree is small, maybe a couple of months. You see, the size of the tree will determine the time it falls. But it doesn't matter what size the tree is. It will fall if you every day swing 5 times, take an axe, and hit that tree. You've got to ask yourself a question this morning. What's my tree? What's my dream? What do I really in my life want to accomplish? And by the way, it's what's my tree, not what are my trees. You see, if you go out every day and you swing 5 times at a different tree, you don't knock any trees down, you just have a scarred forest. Most people, that's how they run their life. Listen. The secret to your success is determined by your daily agenda. What you do every day determines your success. Every day, by what you do, you're either getting better or worse. Every day, you're either preparing or repairing. Every day. Every day.